What's up, folks? Hope you're all good in the hood there, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from. So, as you may or may not know, this is the BTS pre-show live stream, and we have a few guests on with us tonight so that you can have a chat with everybody. So let's bring them on screen. So first up, obviously, we have the amazing organisers of the BTS exhibitions, and that is Ray and Angela. Hello.
Yeah.
Hiya.
And we have also joining us, he is the Scorpion Wrangler. It's Tim Baxter.
Hello.
Yo, Tim.
How are we all?
We're good. We're good.
You're doing well. You're
good,
doing
thank
well.
I'm excited.
Rather warm.
It's rather cold down there, to be honest.
Mind you, the weather's a bit crappy here.
Yeah.
I just hope the weather's going to be nice for the weekend of the 18th. I believe there's something special happening.
To be fair, Tim, you are sitting in a heated shed.
Yeah, it's 29.6 degrees in here at the minute. So
We have some people saying hello. We've got BTS Lectures and Dinners official YouTube channel. Hello, Ray. I would think that's Mark.
Oh, I would think that's what I've got.
What about me?
of course it's Mark.
Of course, it's Mark. Actually, was it spelt right? Yeah, it was Mark.
What? Tarantula Donna says, "Hey Tim." We have
Hello.
Rob, Inverted Rob, saying, "Evening peeps." Hi Rob, thanks for joining.
Evening.
So we're all excited. Yes, I'm so excited for the show. It's unbelievable. Hello Iris, thank you for joining. So yeah, we got 10. Well, eight. It keeps fluctuating. It's telling me 8, then 10 people watching, but we've only just started, so hopefully we'll get more come and join us shortly. Right, so I have outlined a few things that I think would be really good for us to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's okay with you guys.
Of course, anything you like.
So I think the most important thing that we need to kick off with is where and when is the exhibition?
It is on Sunday, the 18th of May, at the Warwickshire Event Centre, Leamington Spa. And it's
And it
open
starts
at 11 o'clock.
At 11 o'clock.
11 a.m. to the public. And it's
And yeah, go on. Sorry, I was interrupting you.
Andrew has just gone for a walk. I saw a cat trying to get in on the act. It's as I say, up to 11 o'clock. It's going to be huge. We've been selling online tickets. You can pay on the door. You can just turn up. It's going to be a great day. It always is.
Yeah, you can. So you can buy tickets online. That is the competition to win the £100 voucher still on with the online sales.
Yes, it is. The competition to win this the golden ticket.
Look at that beautiful thing.
You want to eat your heart out.
Prices.
I need to check what I wrote it. Basically, if you buy an online ticket between now and I'm going to make it about Tuesday when I cut it off. Then what we'll do is we will do a draw. We had quite a lot of tickets sold. So we're going to do a draw, and the winner on that order number of that ticket purchase will win £100 to spend at the show with any trader. They will also win a BTS goodie bag, which will have T-shirts, various things, caps that the BTS will donate, and we'll also give a year's free membership to the BTS.
That is so cool. That is just so cool.
Probably 150, 160 quid's worth of prize there. So
that's amazing.
And
so you can scan the QR code there and you can get your tickets that way, or you can go online, www.thebts.co.uk. Easy as that. So I'll leave that up just for a few more minutes.
Yeah, I should stress that the draw is just for the online tickets. Because we were trying it out. It's first time, to be fair, we've ever used online tickets, and it's gone very well. And we've done that really. So, Tim's worked the door for me before for us, and it's a busy day. So what we're trying to do is make sure we streamline the queues, we get these people in, and anyone who's been to the BTS show know there is a long queue, but we're quick. The guys are quick. We don't
mess around.
No, we are like We are like a little army.
We sure are.
I've actually drawn up a battle sheet where it tells you where everybody has to stand at certain times. This is
Yes.
Like a well-drilled regiment.
we are. I've been we
Nearly.
Well done.
we have been organising it now for this is our 30th show. 30
Okay.
years. Yeah, we took over on the
And the
ninth.
ninth
We
one.
took over on the 9th show.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about that later. But we took over on the 9th show, and this is the 30 years we've been organising it. But we've actually been in the hobby 41 years.
It's crazy.
It is crazy because I was very young when it started, and now I'm very old.
Well, when you started, well, you got married in 1983, right?
I did. Well, we did.
That's when I was.
I
That's
got
when I was.
married to her.
Every time.
We got married.
Right.
No, we did
Is
1983.
this really the hill you wish to die on?
Yeah.
I've got a score sheet.
We also have to bear in mind,
53 at the moment.
but although we got married when we were 21, we were actually together sort of 15 and 14-year-old. So we were at school together.
Oh, that's
I
so
know,
sweet.
So it's
Well, you
it's
got
all-
married the year I was born, so
I use the royal I as opposed to the royal we.
okay.
But
So,
by the way, any hard questions, please feel free.
well, Iris said it always does move quickly. I think she is referring to the queue.
And
And
just,
yeah,
Amy was my babysitter.
we don't hang around with the queue.
well, we we go down the queue as well, and sell the wristbands so we can get people in straight away when we open. We've got this great disabled facilities, and we know a lot of guys in the hobby who are in wheelchairs and disabled, and we get those guys in first, and we have a separate queue, and so we pride ourselves that the venue is big enough to accommodate wheelchairs.
Yes.
We know a lot of wheelchair users ourselves, friends in the hobby. And I think that they enjoy coming to the show because there's plenty of room to get around.
That's what Tarantula
Yeah, there is. It's
saying.
never ever cramped in. There's
No.
always loads of
There's a
space.
disabled queue.
There's definitely Tarantula John. There is a disabled queue, and we get people in. Literally, we open the doors on the disabled.
It's a little ramp, isn't it? By the
And there's a
front door.
ramp. And if you, I know you guys have been to the venue. It is an excellent venue.
It
it's
is.
super. It's got
The amount of people I get saying to me that we don't go to shows because it's too crammed and there's crowds and it's far too peoply, but that actually attend the event at the Warwickshire because it's so big and you don't feel like everything's crammed in. A lot of people suffer from anxiety that.
Well, we've always been because it's an arena, really. We started way back. It's in doing schools and gyms, then leisure centres, then Coventry Arena, and because the Warwick Events Centre's an arena, we stick to strict. Well, they make us, and we want to stick.
If there isn't
We
enough
stick
room
to
in
strict
between,
guidelines. So when I
tell
do
us, don't they?
when I do the floor plan, for
You don't need
instance,
to do that.
I have to literally. I send that floor plan. I send it to the WEC, and we then I then go to our insurers, and everybody checks it to make sure that there is enough space between walkways and things like that. So, and we're very conscious of that. So we want everyone to have a great time.
Yeah, 100%. And so obviously included in the show, I think we should talk a little bit about Tarantula Crafts as it's kind of been labelled. So the competition that goes on each year at the show, which is been going on since day one?
Since the beginning, I think I know, and Mark Pennell's online tonight, so I know he was at the early Luton shows, and I went to the early Luton shows just as a member. And they had a competition then. So I think it actually started at our second show, which was at Chessington World of Adventure.
I think I won one of the.
And early on at Luton, I think you won an art
I
competition.
can't even remember what the picture was, but yeah, I won.
But basically, that's been going on from the beginning. And to be honest, it started off as a little bit of fun. And I think the first year we just had a sort of committee competition. you know. And then it sort of expanded, and over the years, people then started to take it quite seriously. Some of them very seriously, you know. And then we got to a stage where people were asking us, you know, what categories, and we split the categories into best brachypelma, or best New World, best Old World, best Africa, and we split it like that. And then people became very, very enthusiastic about it. And it wasn't us who called it the Crufts of the Spider World. It was an over enthusiastic journalist.
Yes, I know it was, because it was actually in the paper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the paper, and he came to our house and did it when we lived in the Midlands, and he did an interview with us. And you see, we explained it to him, and he went away, and the headline was "Welcome to the Crufts of the Spider World."
Yeah.
You know, it was, and in a way, that's spot on. You know, people bring their, you know, we all love our animals, and people bring their animals. You know, and people always say, "What's the criteria for winning?" Now, I'm not a judge.
No.
But Peter Kirk, the chairman, and Angela judges the artwork. And you know, I mean, it sounds silly, but one of the main criteria is that your spider has all of its legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it's not rubbed.
That it's not rubbed its abdomen, that it's not overfed.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised how many people bring these spiders and it's got 7 legs, and they say, well, why didn't it win? And
there's one more criteria. You've got to know what you're putting into the competition. You've got to spell the scientific name.
the scientific name needs to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing as well, of course, is in the main competition, we have always asked people who want to enter to be BTS members, subscribing members, and that supports us. And also, you know, I mean, otherwise we would have hundreds and hundreds of people entering spiders, and we exist for our members. Yes, and we're and hobby. So, you know, our main aim is membership to keep us going, and then we look after the rest of the hobby. But the reality is, we don't ask people to be members for the art competition. No, we need lots of art. So if any of you, I know you've got kids and that. But if anybody wants to enter a competition, art competition, then Angela's the judge. You do the photography as well.
Yeah, I do. Oh, he's got one.
So
there.
Hang on. There you go. You can see it.
And you know, to be fair, over the years,
before I joined the committee, it wasn't.
That was before you joined the committee. No, I mean, people often forget that. I mean, we don't have a committee competition now.
It just got too much.
It just got too much because we're so busy on the day. So if we want to enter, we do enter our own, but we're too busy. I know team enters are Scorpions. But as I say, we've got to a stage now where at 3 o'clock we announce the winners. Tim's just showed you a trophy. You know, we started off. There were simple little trophies. You know,
really are nice trophies.
Beautiful wooden trophies, and they are really nice. You know, I mean, we do go to a lot of expense because we want people to enjoy the day and we want people to enter the spiders. You know?
And so then, just to clarify, then, so the categories are Old World, New World,
Arboreal,
Arboreal, Asian, African.
No, I think it's best brachypelma. But it's on. To be fair, if you go to the exhibition website, it's all on there.
It's all on there.
I think there's 8 categories. There's artwork.
Yeah, there's a best African as well.
Best African and best Scorpion. You know,
Scorpion.
and in the past, people have said, you know, have you considered doing a best centipede, or a best insect, or a best beetle? I mean, and we have thought about it, you know, and I mean, I know people like Tony Webb, for instance, who's a big centipede guy, is asking me constantly, you know, when are you going to do a centipede thing? And maybe next year, you know, we'll look at, we're open to suggestions, you know, so we're always looking at new ideas.
Yeah. But, well, United Invert says that they are bringing up one of the Scorps to enter into the competition.
Okay.
We do ask that they are identified correctly.
Yes, identified correctly in a clear enclosure, no substrate.
With no substrate.
No name is in the owner's name on it. You'll be given a raffle ticket that you get one stuck to the box and one's given to the owner.
That's correct. So and you come to the BTS stand, there'll be a big sign saying competition. Hand your spider over to you guys. I think I've got you down on there, Amy, like you were last year with feet. And then they're put away safe. No one touches them after that. They can't be stolen or anything like that.
I guard them with my life.
They're all safe. And then the guys come along and judge. And I think you have to get them in by about 12:30 or something like that.
I think it's 12:30. So we're 11 till 12:30. So an hour and a half.
Gives you an hour
You've
and a
got
half.
to stay right to the end.
Well,
Obviously.
yeah, I mean, we then give the prize given at 3, and at 3:30 we return the spiders and the scorpions back. So
And then we've got that.
and I think then we've got an half hour where everybody runs round and tries to do deals and make bargains, you know. And at that time of day, there are a lot of deals to be had. You know?
See if there's any BTS merch left.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, obviously, the BTS as well every year do these type of things. You know, the hoodies, the t-shirts, the merchandise. We change it every year. We have got a cracking BTS t-shirt this year.
Do you want me to show it? I can show it.
Have you got it?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just get it up.
Yeah.
Is this an official reveal?
An official reveal. Yeah. I was just showing it.
I haven't got it on, no. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. There you go.
Yeah. And these are the new ones, and it says, as you can see, it says British Trans 40 years. We're 40 years old this year. This year, the BTS, and that on the bottom you've got what I call the exhibition tour T-shirt, and on the back of that is all the list of all the shows we've ever done, and everyone's had a name, and I've christened this year Arachnocide.
Arachnocide.
It's 2025 Arachnocide.
Love it.
But they are great T-shirts, and we have to thank Mark and the guys and Martin for these because they work so hard to get these out. So come to the BTS stand because they will sell out.
They will sell out. They always do, don't they? They're a little bit of a collector's item these days, aren't they?
And that is why we started doing the what we call the tour T-shirt with all the dates and the names on the back at our 25th show or 25th year. And so there are 15 of those T-shirts in existence. We've done one every year, you know. And
we also have the hoodies.
The BTS hoodie again, you know, really nice.
I definitely
they
need
will sell out as well.
They will sell out.
Too much
hoodies.
I never wore mine, and then one day I put it on, and I thought, that's warm, and I never take it off now. And she said, "Do you ever take that sweatshirt off?"
I've got both types. I've got the zip up one and the all-in-one over the head ones.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're both really, really warm.
But they're
amazing.
My wife ended up stealing it, so she wears that most of the time now because it's the warmest coat.
We've also got BT, we've got the hats, BTS.
Oh yeah, the beanies and the
beanies and the caps. So we've got every year we put a new range in, you know. Oh, and there they are.
There's the beanies.
I'll see you in pink.
Me?
Yeah, definitely.
Tim?
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good one, pink.
Is it?
Have the caps got the
I think the caps have got that design on as well, I think.
Yeah, I've got the caps. One second. The baseball hats.
And again, you know, I think why it's so successful is because we've got a 13 or 14 strong committee, and we all have a role to play. You know, so these guys, Martin and Mark, come up with these ideas, and they follow them through. You know, and we run the show, and we all have our own separate roles to play. You know, and it doesn't mean if we don't like something, we don't say we don't like it.
No, of course.
You know, it's very rare. We trust the guys. You know.
Okay, so we just touched there on it being the 40th birthday.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
For you guys, obviously being right from the beginning, does it feel like it's took 40 years to get to where the BTS are now?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember sitting in our living room, and when we first got married, and every Sunday we just got our first house and we just got married, and every Sunday we go for a drive in my Ford our Ford Escort Mark II. Oh yes,
nice.
Yeah, I wish I'd still got it. And we just go for a drive.
Lassie motor.
And it was a class motor. And we literally, we went for a drive, and we found this. We saw a sign saying pet shop, and it was on a building, an industrial estate in Wolverhampton. And we drove to it, and we said, "We'll go and have a look at this, see if it's open." And we walked into it. It was on an industrial estate, and we walked in, and the guy was a bird dealer and parrots and things. But up the corner was a chili rose in a tank, and we both looked at it, and we went, "Whoa, I've got to have that." And it cost us £4.99, and that was the spider and the tank.
Are you kidding me?
I was going to say 3 and 6 for a minute there.
Yeah, no, it was an adult.
I'm not that old, Tim.
It was an adult, and we took it on. We had no idea what to do, and that's the gospel truth. And she loved it, and we cared for it. And then I was sitting there reading the paper, and I saw an advert for the old guys on here remember Granby Halls. It was the old Leicester show, and it said Insect Fair Leicester next Sunday, and I went, we have to go to this, and we went. We didn't know a soul, and it's really nice because we see now people walking around the shows, and I'm sure it happened to you guys when you first got into it. You walk around the shows and you want people to talk to you.
Yeah.
You want to meet people, and you're so shy because you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And we used to walk around the shows, and I'll never forget, we walked up to the BTS's table. And I actually wanted to join the BAS, which is the British Arachnological Society, which I did join later. And there was a lady sitting at the table, Anne Webb, bless her, no longer with us, sadly. And I said to her, "Are you the BAS?" And it was like a Monty Python moment. She went, "Am I the BAS? No, I ain't the BAS. That's the BAS." And she pointed to this table across. I goes, "Well, who are you?" She goes, "Oh, I'm the BTS." And Frank, her husband, bless him, we signed up. I went, "Oh, well, great." We signed up there and then, and we've been members ever since. And I think it was about 10 years, maybe 12 years. I went on the committee, and you came on the committee.
It wasn't because they'd done 9 shows.
9 shows. It was on mine. It was in 9 years later, I joined the committee.
We joined the committee and started doing the shows because we went to the show at Birmingham, and it was so small that there was a fight, and you had to go around. It was so tight, filled with people, that you had to go around the
one-way system,
like a one-way. And if you saw something you wanted, you had to wait till you went round again because you couldn't get to it because everybody was walking.
The problem was, I mean, we were just simple members. We were just normal members. I didn't know anybody, not a soul.
No.
And I said to Anne when I joined the BTS, or a few years later at Granby, I said, "You know, you're having your show at the Birmingham Nature Centre." And she went, "Yeah." And I said, you do realise it's very, very small?" And she goes, "Well, I'm not organising it, it's somebody else." And we went, and oh my, it was very small. It was very, very small. And when I came back after the show, I wrote a letter to Peter Kirk as a disgruntled member. I was disgruntled of Wolverhampton. There it is.
That's it.
That is the entire venue. That was the entire venue. And I wrote a letter to Peter Kirk saying that was a disgrace. The show was rubbish. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. I can do a lot better. And Pete, bless him, who I didn't know, wrote back to me and said, "All right, smart." He said, "If you can do better, do better." And then we moved it to Wood Green High School. And that was a success for 5 years. Then we moved it to Cosley School. That was a success. To Leisure Centre, which was for 5 years. Then we moved it to the Rico Arena, which was the Coventry Wasps rugby ground. That for 2 years. And then we finally moved to the Warwick Event Centre. And the very, very first show, way back in 1984, as I said to you earlier, well, I think we had 4 tables and 12 guests. And I think we had 2 traders.
That's mad.
Wow.
You know, and in the mid-90s, I mean, the BTS were one of the first people to put shows on, in reality. There were others at the time, but they were quite small. And in the mid-90s, it sort of exploded, and there were shows everywhere. And then various reasons, a lot of these shows went. But it's a bit like now. There's a lot of shows, you know.
Yeah.
And that's fine because the hobby's big enough for us all. You know.
Yeah.
We visit shows. You guys visit shows. Tim goes to shows. That's fine. It's great. We know all the guys who organise the shows. They come to ours. But it's such a good community, the spider community and the scorpion community. It's such a good community that it really doesn't matter how many shows there are. Really, it's there's room for everyone. I mean, at this show as well, we've got 100. I think it's 108 traders at the moment. 108 traders, and that's pretty good.
One standout moment, which I don't want to remember.
Any standout moments?
Yeah,
that was going to be my question, Lee.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what it was. Way back at Wood Green High School, Wood Green High School had one hall the first year. Then we expanded into a second hall. Then they built this massive, huge gym on the side of the school. But yet to get to it, you had to go across the car park. And we designed a cunning one-way system where we put barriers across and all this, you know, and it was ridiculous. And somebody called me, and I went running, and I went to jump over the fence between the two halls, missed, hit my shin, and literally took a massive chunk out the front of my leg.
Wow.
It worked down to the bone. But being me, I didn't actually bother to tell anybody. So I'm walking around. The bottom of my jeans is soaked with blood. And she goes, "What's that?" "Oh, it's nothing. It's a scratch." It's just... What about you? You had any?
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't make it to the show till about 1:30 because I had an AF attack in the morning and I had to go back to the hotel room. And Connie stayed with me and talked to me, and I should have really gone to hospital, but I didn't. I just stayed at their hotel.
Well,
I remember that.
Not there.
that was the year that I remember, Mark. I was walking around with like a bear with a sore head that morning.
Just a flesh wound.
It was just a flesh wound because I was worried that Angela was quite ill. But she made it, and that I have to say, we were both concerned that would be the first show we'd missed in 30 some odd years.
Yeah.
I'd had an ablation the week before, and I probably shouldn't have gone, but I wasn't going to miss it, so I don't miss it when I got there.
But you know, it's really good because what was really nice and what's good about this hobby is when the word went round the show that Angela was quite ill, everybody came up to me and asked. People I'd never met, people I may never have spoken to. And it was so nice that these people came up to me and said, "Right, you know, give our best to Angela." And I thought, well, I don't know these people, but it was, and that's a mark how friendly this hobby is.
So hopefully it won't happen.
Hopefully it won't happen. You have to bear in mind in the old days, you know, we used to have to put all the tables out ourselves, and I had a little army of volunteers, and they were volunteers, you know, and their reward for helping was a Mars bar and a can of pop.
Yes, yes.
That's true.
Can I ask for a Snickers instead of a Mars bar?
Yeah.
I'll have Snickers.
I'll
have Snickers, and I want a Dr. Pepper.
Absolutely. And it was really good because we had to, you know, when we were doing the schools, we used to have to take every desk out of every classroom and then put it back in the same classroom in the same place.
Upstairs.
Up 3 flights of stairs. And Mark will tell you that was hard work. And by the end of the day, it was so hard work, you know. And, you know, when you go and move 100 tables like that, and of course, you've all been to school, if you put your hand under one of those tables, it's not a nice thing to do. You know, there's all sorts under there. And it's over the years we've got to a stage where the WEC now put the tables out for us. They charge us for the privilege, obviously, but you know, I send them the floor plan. They put all the tables out, and I go along usually a week before and just go over it and double check with them that they're happy and we're happy. And that's it. But in the
tables are really nice.
It was hard.
They have the covers on and everything, don't they?
Well, this year, to be honest, we've done away with the white covers, and there's two reasons. There's two reasons for that. One mainly is that a lot of people throw them away.
Bring their own,
you know, and that paper we buy, I mean, it's probably about 20 quid a roll or something. You know, and I know like people like Rad, for instance, it's more than that now. They cover their own tables anyway. And the other thing, we looked at it and we thought, you know what, that's an awful lot of waste paper.
Yeah.
And trying to be eco-friendly. And we thought, well, we'll do our bit for our carbon footprint. We just won't put this paper on the tables because people throw it away. And at the end of it, we end up with a massive skip full of paper, you know, and we're just thinking, and we thought to ourselves, most people these days, I walk around the shows and they've all got these fancy tablecloths and you know, it looks nice with a white cloth, but trying to be a little bit eco-friendly and save the planet, basically, you know, that's what we've gone for. I dare say somebody will say there are no white paper on the table.
I demand white cloth.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, I mean, it's
You've disappeared, Amy.
You've muted it, Amy.
You're muted.
You're on mute. You are. We can't hear you.
Still on mute.
No. Dodgy mic. Dodgy mic, you see. You can't get the staff.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, look. Battery's running out.
So,
Right, I've got another one.
I'm sorry, mate.
I've got another one.
That's the 5Ps, isn't it? Poor performance.
Yeah.
Things will be better
now.
Hear me now?
So yeah, but it's been an entertaining 40
That's
years.
Wish or TikTok. What is it?
Timu, no.
Chris.
These were off of Amazon.
It's a shame I don't get to look around the show anymore.
That is if there's one downside to it, running the shows is, you know, the BTS is a non-profit making club. So all the money we make on the day goes back into the club, and it always has. It keeps the club running for another year, allows us to put next year's show on. So that's how we run. And it's a shame, really, that you know, people forget that we're spider keepers. You know, we're scorpion keepers and spider keepers as well, and we want to see what's at the show, but you never really get the opportunity to go around and look.
The day goes so fast.
And literally,
Just so fast.
And before you know it, everybody's packing up.
Yeah. And then that's when you run around. You go, what have we got left?
I can honestly say I don't think I've actually bought, and it's not because I'm mean, I don't think I've actually bought a spider from a BTS show in the last 25 years. Because
have you not?
Yeah, because we just don't have time to see. I couldn't even tell you what's there. That's why if there's another show, we go to those shows.
Yeah, so you can have a look.
We went to Kempton and we get the opportunity to walk around and see what's there, you know. But on BTS day, it's manic.
It is.
You know?
I mean, for me, obviously, before you guys even knew me, I would come to the BTS show and I would walk around and be mesmerized by everything and get to have a look at everything and come out with bagfuls of stuff. And now, obviously, it's a completely different experience.
You know, you work.
But I love it.
Money.
Yeah, we've
yes,
saved
I do.
money.
But I absolutely love it. Like the show is just fantastic. And I love the volunteering side of it and interacting with everybody and talking to people. And it's brilliant. It's such a brilliant weekend.
To be honest with you as well, I mean, the fact that we don't actually get to see what's there, it can. But at the end of the night, end of the day, when you're sitting in the pub and you're thinking, and someone goes, "Oh, did you see so and so?" And you went, "No." And "Oh, what about so and so stand? He had some wonderful this," and I go, "No." And so, but the good thing is that we get to talk to people.
Yeah.
And we get to see people we haven't seen for years. For instance, there's a guy comes up to me and he's been coming up to me every year for the last 20 years. For the last 20 years, this guy at the BTS show, he walks up to me and he goes, "Hello, Ray, how are you, mate?" And "Hello, Andrew, how are you?" And we have a 10-minute chat and he walks off. And God bless him, I have no idea who he is.
Not me.
And this year I'm determined to ask him how I know him.
I think it's great.
I think I knew him at Drayton Manor Parking Zoo, and I'm going back 40 years. And I think he was a keeper at Drayton Manor Zoo. And I just think, and he's a lovely guy, and he obviously knows us.
Very well.
Very well, because he knows things. But it's also, I mean, you know, it's like we met you and we met Tim. I'll be honest, and Mark will tell you this, when we first met Tim, for 2 years we thought he was Polish.
Really?
It's the absolute truth.
I'll
you
give
were
you that. Us Northerners do sound Polish. It is a different language.
We'd never spoken to you, and we knew you worked with Rad and his guys, and that master, his guys are Polish. And he walked in one, he goes, I mean, and I actually, for years, I thought, and I've never spoke, and it's that kind of thing we like, because you get to meet people, and there are some lovely people at the BTS show.
Yeah, there really is.
Wow.
There really is, and everybody's just so super friendly.
Yeah,
You know, it's just it's for me, I see it as a huge get together of like-minded people.
Yeah.
That have no axe to grind. That everybody's friendly. Everybody knows that we're all sharing that same interest, and it's just, the whole thing is just that it's perfection. It really is.
I think as well. I mean, we work very hard, and you guys are fairly new to the committee, but before you came on the committee, I think there is this image of the BTS that people have had, that we're like, well, you know, we can't talk to these guys. They're elite. They're so far up in the, and it's not true.
No, it really isn't.
It really isn't true. You know, I mean, you guys came on board, and we welcome that. That's fine. You are good friends now, and we just want. The reason is that we've all had a lot of experience in the hobby. 40 years. Mark Pennell, 40 years. Andrew Smith, Peter Kirk. All of us have done 40 years. Yeah. So you do make friends in that time.
But on the BTS exhibition day, we probably don't speak to as many people as we want to, because we're just too busy.
I mean, I'm on the door, Tim's on the door, you know, and
but then perfect opportunity then just to drop in. The BTS lectures is the place to chat.
It is, because I mean the BTS lectures, which Mark Pennell organises with Kim, his wife. That's this year, coming year, is our 25th year of organising the lectures, the BTS. Yeah. You know, and I remember when Mark and Kim put that forward at a committee meeting 25 years ago and said, you know, we've had this idea, and we went, yeah, that's great. You know, and exactly as Mark said, that's why we created the lectures, because you don't get time to talk at a show. No. And so we like people to come to the lectures. We put on 5 lectures, a lovely meal in the evening. You guys have been. Tim lectured there, and you've lectured there for us. And it gives newbies, experienced keepers, academics. We all sit down at the same table. We all eat the same food, and we all talk spiders.
Yeah. This was my first BTS lecture, as it was yours, Amy. Well, yours for speaking, sorry. But this was my first ever attending one. It seriously blew me away. It really did. Not so much. I had like visions of grandeur of academics, and everybody just sat, you know, chuntering amongst themselves, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Everybody was socialising, everybody was having a laugh and a drink, if that's your whatever's your poison. And yeah, it was an amazing weekend. Really good. I'd recommend them to anybody.
And it gives you an opportunity to meet people. I mean, we had this year, we had Rachel Cruff-Welton, who did a lecture about amber spiders for us.
That was my favourite lecture, that one.
She's a PhD, she's right up there, you know, these guys. But she sat down with us and had a chat, and, you know, we meet people and we ask them to lecture. I know Mark and Kim are already on next year's lectures.
Yes. She took my amber
I
spiders.
mean, Angela got some spiders in amber.
Bring them back.
And we gave them to Rachel to take to the museum to identify, because these are 64 spiders.
Yeah, she's going to tell us what.
So she's coming to the show, and hopefully she'll tell us what species spiders they are, what genus.
Wow. That is exciting.
You know,
that's
so
really good.
It is. So hopefully we can do an article on that, and that's the key really, is that coming to the lectures, and we work so hard as well to try and dispel this rumour that we are elitist and we don't want to talk to anybody, because we do. You know, I love to sit down and talk. I mean, Amy's lecture on monocentropus blew me away. I thought it was wonderful. It was very good, because
it was really good.
We have never kept communal spiders.
Yeah, so you learned something new.
We kept.
Yeah, pokies we've kept, and I tried it once with Thai blacks, and I'm going back to about 1986. And I put 10 spiderlings all in one tank, thinking, oh, they'll live together. Yeah, they all lived together for about an hour. and then
I
one
was gonna
very
say.
big fat on the right. So I've never.
You
we've
had
never
one big one.
yeah, we ended with a beautiful spider, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
You won't
It's
need
now
to feed in for a few weeks.
yeah, yeah. But so we want people to come to the show. We want people to come to the lectures, and we want people to come and talk to us. You know, and come along.
Is
But
that
we
a
have
secret? This special event next
Yeah.
year.
a very special event. Mark's buying around.
I don't know. He hasn't said.
He don't tell us. They're in charge of the lectures, and that works nicely because we run the show. Mark and Kim do the lectures. Martin does the merchandise. You guys do. You're a Scorpion guy. You're a Monosen, whatever you call them. Not my thing.
The ladies.
I'm purely Asian stuff, I'm afraid.
And you can actually join the membership on the day
Yeah.
well. So
I mean, that's the other thing we're doing.
Kath,
Mike and Catherine do the membership for us. We used to do the membership back in the day.
Yeah.
People still come up to me to say, I want to give you my membership money, because they always remember I used to take the money, but I will be taking.
No way.
I will be doing it again
She's
this
going to be
year.
helping this year.
Nice.
The truth is, I mean, we need members. We need subscribing members, simply because we can't continue. We don't continue without it. It's the membership that keeps us going. So we've got another journal coming out this week.
Yeah, it's at the printers.
It's at the printers now, and that'll bring us right back up to date with membership. And then people will rejoin at the show. And we urge people to come and join us. You don't have to, of course, but it's we've supported the hobby now for 40 years. The club has, and we just want people to now come and support us. Yeah. Because we consider it the hobby is important. It's important to us all. And there are a lot of people out there who decry us and the hobby and say, no, you shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. But at the end of the day, if you do it right and you do it properly and you know your stuff, then there's no reason why you shouldn't keep tarantulas.
No. Just wanted that that Mark said, I always buy you beers, Ray, you cheapskate.
I find that very, very hard to believe.
But this is hot news, returning to the Aztec Hotel for the lectures.
Excellent.
I forgot that bit.
Aztec Hotel and Spa.
Oh, absolutely. For those
and Spa, that's right.
It's been at the Village Hotel for a few years, and we sort of all discussed the idea of moving it back to the Aztec where we were originally. And we were there originally at the Aztec, and the Aztec's the Village is a nice hotel, but we just thought for the 25th lectures, let's move back to the Aztec, which it's round the corner, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
It literally
isn't that far, is it, from where
motorway. So yeah, I mean, I know the guys are busily working on. The moment the show's over, we will start organising next year's show. Literally, I have got a date for next year. The date for next year is the 17th of May next year. I know it's next year.
17th May.
That's next year. The 2026 show is the 17th of May, but this year is the 18th of May.
If you work it out, it's always the third Sunday.
Third Sunday in May.
Yeah. Third Sunday of the month.
And we always do that because we know when it's going to be. And we're our own worst critics, because the day after the show, or a couple of days after the show, when I've actually woken up, we actually sit down and we say, well, what was wrong with the show? It'd be very easy to say, oh, that was great, and pat ourselves on the back. But what we do is we sit down and say, well, what was wrong with the show? What can we do to improve it next year? How can we make it better for people? And so we are our own worst critics, to be fair. But yeah, I would say by the 21st of May this year, I will already start organising next year's. And I was chatting to Amy earlier. I've still got all the floor plans right back to 1994.
That's crazy.
That is sad. right back to my.
That's not sad. That's not sad at all. That'd be something I would do just so that I could look back on it. I mean, you know,
Just be
like my
careful.
YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, I started because I wanted to keep a record of my tarantulas, and I love going back and having a look and seeing, oh God, look at that one from like 10 years ago, like how much it's grown. So you actually knowing and keeping a catalogue.
I do like the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
need to set up a
honestly,
BTS archive.
I'm a bit of a spreadsheet.
yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, look, there was originally Anne wrote a book called the 10-year history of the BTS.
Really?
And when it was 25, I sat down and wrote a new one, 25-year history of the BTS.
So you can do a new
I'll probably do when I actually get time. I'll write
Yeah.
a 40-year history of the BTS.
You should do. You
Wow.
should.
The shows and the lectures and the photos, because you know people come up to me and show me photographs when I actually had dark hair and go, "Oh, this was you in 1984." Really? Was it? Seriously? My hair was down here. Not anymore, I'm afraid. But so yeah, we want people to come. We want people.
Well, I did come across a photo.
Oh no.
Where is this from?
Oh, that was from the.
That's the competition. That's somebody who put it in a competition.
That was Wood Green.
Really?
That was Mark might correct me, but I think it was Andy Matthews.
Andy Matthews' mum always made us
Andy
a cake.
Matthews' mum, who's still in hobby, Andy, as he comes to the lectures.
And he always brought a cake with him.
And he always bought a cake. We're looking at a cake for our 40th this year. We're working on it. Only the place I went to get it made today are closed.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, that's the British Trans Society. That went into one of the competitions.
Yeah.
Somebody
cake making competition.
No, it was the art competition.
That was the art.
Somebody once actually put a tattoo into the competition.
Yeah, took the shirt off and.
I took the shirt off and it was a very good. Sadly, he didn't win because he wasn't the artist. He was merely the canvas.
Okay. Okay. Yes, of course.
We couldn't give him credit when he may well have thought of the idea, but the guy who drew it was the artist. You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, the guy entered his tattoo on his back.
God, imagine that. You could literally fill a tattoo category in this day and age. The amount of people that have spider ink.
Yeah, absolutely. You could. Now, there's a thought, actually. Best tattoo. Maybe next year.
New competition for next year.
Mark, you're not allowed to enter.
Yeah.
There we go. A nice comment here. Fantastic to have Tim on board as a committee member representing the Scorpion side. And Ray and Angelo, you definitely should be proud of how much you've done for the hobby. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
should be proud.
To go. We're not dead yet. We've still got a long way to go. I mean, you asked me the question, where do I see us in the show in 10 years?
Yes.
Well, I'll be 74 by then. So hopefully I'll still be here.
You'll still be doing it. I know you will be.
Angela, God bless you, she'll definitely still be here.
Yep. You're not gonna give over that Bible.
It's so annoying. She'll still look like that.
Oh, well.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, somebody when I die has got to have this.
Look at the size of that.
That is the BTS Bible. That is the book.
That contains everything.
All in there, everything. If I'm on the motorway on the way up and that gets lost, it's over.
We can't put it on the way.
It's over.
Yeah, there is no wing it. Forget it. Show's cancelled.
Yeah, show's cancelled. But
Mike says I should have a stand tattooing tarantulas all day.
Oh.
I'm not sure how you get around that health and safety and all of that.
I'm not sure how you tattoo a tarantula because they've got 8 legs. Come on, Mark. I said he wants to tattoo tarantulas, not humans.
No.
He'll get that. Mark, you can't tattoo a tarantula.
I like how you saw it from a different side.
So yeah, go on.
I think I'm gonna play a video now of it was a video taken from Petco from the Dark Den when he came to the BTS show back in 2018. So it's at the Warwickshire Event Centre.
Yeah.
But I just want to have a look at this because it's really good anyway. But obviously, it will show the difference in what you're going to see nowadays.
2018 was the first year at the Warwick.
I think so, yeah.
Was it really?
I'm pretty sure we've been there.
It
Well,
is- it
don't
is
forget we've missed 2
WEC.
shows because of COVID.
Yeah.
We cancelled 2 because of COVID. So yeah, I think we've done 5 shows there. So it was 2018 was probably the first year.
Okay. Well, I think this just shows you, it's just highlights, but it shows you like the scale of the venue itself, and obviously what you can get to see whilst you're at the show. But as you told me earlier, Ray, how many tables were at the show in 2018? So let me just quickly get that back. So in 2018, there were 62 traders with 190 tables.
Yeah.
And so this year there is
108 traders and 263 tables.
That's right. So
we rejiggled the floor plan. We redesigned it. Spent a lot of time. I worked with the WEC closely on that, and myself, a lovely girl called Becky, who runs the day. We sat down and worked out a new floor plan, but we've doubled in size, really.
Really have
in 5 years. You know,
so when you're watching this video, guys, just bear in mind that it's a lot more filled these days.
It's bigger now.
Yeah, this is a cracking video that Petco put together. So I'm going to play it now, okay?
Okay.
Impressive.
Really impressive. And bear in mind that Petco travelled, it must be about 1,200 something miles just to come, because he's based in Croatia. But I thought, we'd like to hear what he actually thought of the show. So Petco, tell us what you thought of the BTS show.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you, yeah.
Okay, because am I late actually? You said it's 7 p.m. your time. I thought that is 9 p.m. my time, but I arrived here earlier, and then you are for 55 minutes already live, right?
It's okay. Don't worry. Well,
hello. What was your question again?
So obviously for yourself, you go to a lot of expos in Germany and other places, but what did you make of the BTS here in the UK?
What did I make? Well, that was my my first really big expo, and I have a fun memories because on the first one that I went was in 2017, and at that time my channel was just starting to grow. So couple of people would recognize me on the show, and then next year was totally opposite, where I was just sitting, there was a line, standing, and there was a line, and that was basically my whole experience of the expo, just talking to people and taking pictures. So I have really fun memories of BTS.
Good. And are you going to come again?
Well, I
want
wanted to come.
Make it again.
I had everything booked and prepared for the one in 2020, and then the COVID came and the lockdowns and everything got canceled. So after that, I don't know. I got kids. So I got daughter. I got married and stuff. So yeah, I would love to come, but now traveling to that far away is a bit more logistically challenging.
How long did it take you to get to the show?
I don't really remember, because originally when I went to in 2017 and 18, I still didn't have a car, so I had to go from my town to I had to take train to the capital Zagreb. Then over there I had to take tram to a bus station, and bus to airport, then airport to I was flying to London. I think that I was going to Stansted. Is that how it's called?
Yeah.
And then bus to London, then again train to the Leamington Spa, and then Tarantula then would meet me, and so it was a lot of stations.
Well, I have to say that video has been the most popular thing. I remember seeing it the first time, and I thought, wow, the music makes it. It's just brilliant,
it
is. It's on our site, and everybody comments on how good it is. So brilliant job.
It's still on the website, isn't it?
It's still on
yeah.
There's two on there. On the exhibition website, it's still on there now.
Cool.
People know, whenever I say, they say, well, what's it all about? Is it worth coming? I just direct them and say, look at this video.
Nice, sweet. That's good to know.
So, and it was a nice day. It was quite a sunny day. So
it was a lovely day.
I think every time when I came there, it was a nice day, because all 17 and 18 and 19, I was recording the line in all of my videos, line of people, and I know that there was no rain.
I think if I remember rightly, Petco, wasn't you being held up by Tarantula?
Yes.
And his brother.
Yeah.
I remember waving at you.
No, it wasn't Tarantula then. He was too skinny for that. It was his brother, and how the guy is called, I cannot remember anymore. But yeah, two big guys were holding me.
Yeah, holding you, and you've got your camera coming along. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. It really was. Yeah, the queue is always huge.
Is it still that big? Is it getting bigger? Yeah, smaller? How is that?
Yeah.
As you rightly point out, 2021 with COVID, it affected us all. The shows, everything. And then when we returned in 2023, people were still a little bit maybe not. Should we mix all together? Last year, 24 was pretty good. It was an impressive queue, and we're hoping this year even better. So and it's what's nice is it doesn't matter how many people turn up, we can accommodate them.
Yes, yeah,
we can get these people in. and we've honed the queue now down to a fine art. You know, we can get people in that event quicker than you can get in to see Ozzy at Aston Villa.
Yes. That's the most important thing.
So we can get you in that event. So hopefully it's always in May, and normally, touch wood, it's going to be good weather. You know, so.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I hope it's going to be great weather. So I just want to quickly just make sure that Petco knows Tim. Have you met Tim before, Petco, or heard of him, Tim Baxter?
Honestly, I'm not. The face is familiar, but I'm not really sure if we ever met.
He is. He's the Scorpion King, and he's a committee member for the BTS. With his expertise in the Scorpion side of everything. So just so that you know who each other are.
Hello. I see that under his name it says Scorpion Wrangler.
Because that's what he is.
That's all I do.
He's not very good with spiders, but he knows his scorpions.
Well, they're pretty similar.
Nearly bred Adam Villasumaki yesterday.
Really?
Nearly.
You're probably the only person in the hobby who can say that.
The mill got eaten within 20 seconds.
I wanted to ask.
Away, female tapping away.
Yeah.
Eaten.
I wanted to ask. What does it mean? Nearly.
What nearly do you mean? So that
I wanted to ask, what does it mean? He nearly bred. So now I know.
That's not really counts, does it? I nearly.
No, it doesn't. No. On the plus side, my female won't want feeding for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
That's a shame, really, because that's a rare spider.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
I've got 3 adult females now and no male.
Blimey.
Damn, Tim.
From my experience,
I'm going to see if I can. Sorry, carry on.
Pokies can sometimes be really quick with pairing, with insertion. So sometimes they pair and you don't even notice. They just go poof.
Yeah, no, he didn't even get a look in. No, it was literally tap, tap, tap.
Some humans are like that. They can pair and nobody knows.
Maybe surprise.
Petco, do you own scorpions?
Yes, of course. I have the classic Asian forest scorpion that everybody got. I have the Titius stigmerus, the communal ones that are really cool. The females that are parthenogenic, right? That's how it's. I never know how. Yeah. So I. A long time ago, when I had a couple of tarantulas, one of my friends, I was visiting my friend, and some other friend came to him to visit him, and he brought him that scorpion. And when he left, my friend was like, "I'm a bit iffy with that scorpion. He doesn't know how venomous this. Do you want it?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And now still, I have the colony that originated from that female from 2000, and I think it was 16 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, they just reproduce, or should I say,
just
clone?
Keep going.
Yeah, and I also have a couple of desert scorpions that are a bit more venomous, the Hottentotta or something. I'm not really familiar with scorpion names. I'm better with tarantula names.
Here's a question for you, and Petco, you might know this. If the scorpion's parthenogenetic, are the offspring all the same sex?
Oh, yeah.
Always male?
From what I've read, it's a female, and they just basically clone themselves.
They clone themselves.
So it's always a female, basically the same copy.
Like, for instance, with Komodo dragons, which are also parthenogenetic, when the females exhibit this parthenogenesis, they always produce males.
They
never
produce females.
They never produce. They never with Komodo dragons. They never produce females. They only ever produce males during parthenogenesis.
Wow.
You know, if they use normal asexual reproduction, then 50-50. But but with parthenogenesis, it always produces males.
That's crazy.
I never really sexed them, but the original female, after she had babies, she died, and those babies still had other babies. So I assumed that they're all females, but I never really checked. I just assumed, because I think I read somewhere, but memory is always a tricky thing. Sometimes you think that you know something, but then you are like, aha, that's not. I just
wait till you my age, Becca. And then
Yeah,
memory is a really important thing.
Yes. But as you're getting older, you learn that minds can play tricks. Now, thankfully, we have videos and pictures, and sometimes you remember some event, it happened one way, and then you check the video and you're like, oh, that also happened, and it was completely different from what I remember. Okay, that's good to know.
That's true, because I get people come up to me and show me photographs of shows in the past. And I have no recollection of having that photo taken with them, or and I just was I there?
Yeah.
That was last year.
Yeah, I bet.
That was last year. But no, it's we're hoping for a good turnout this year. I'm pretty sure it will be good. You know, it's what we want. It's what we need. Is that Chris?
Yes. He's watching the stream over the other side of the room, and there's a delay, so he's laughing before, like, after we have.
Any more questions from me, Amy? Well, one of them I didn't answer. You asked me where do I see the BTS show in 10 years?
Yes.
Right. As I said, I hope to be, or we hope to be still organising it. Yeah. I have no intention of packing it in. You know, rumours of my death are greatly exaggerated. I'm still here. You know, and I intend to go nowhere. As a good friend who you all know, Carl Portman, often says, I can't die, I've got too much to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And would I move the beach? Someone asked me yesterday, would I move the BTS show to a bigger venue? And the truth is, probably I personally wouldn't.
No.
Because I spend a lot of time on the computer, and together we sit here and work out lots of things.
Yeah.
Would I want to take on the next step, which would actually be the NEC? You know, and the NEC would, if I could fill the NEC, I would.
We probably could.
I probably could, but
I haven't got the inclination to.
I haven't got the energy to do it anymore, you know. And people say to me, why don't you do 2 shows a year? And the truth is, I just couldn't organise 2 shows a year. This takes up a lot of our time organising this. It's just that the 2 of us do it.
And we have got other stuff.
And we have got other stuff that we want to do. We travel a lot, as you guys know. We're here and everywhere. And
it is. I mean, during the year it's tiring, but on the day it's so tiring, and just collapse at the end of the day. But
and the reality is, I'm guilty. I really should spend more time with the spiders. Angela spends the time with the spiders. She feeds them, she looks after them, she does everything. I occasionally walk in, tap the tank, and go, yeah, very good, and walk off. That's me. And I really should spend more time with them, but I always seem to be doing other things.
How many tarantulas have you got now?
Not 100, 150. 100, 150.
That's a nice amount.
It is, but you know what?
Space, really.
The truth is that a lot of them are rescues, have come via rescue. We seem to have inherited quite a lot of Brachypelma smithii and amorii. We got quite a lot of chili roses, you know. That people, but we need chili roses because of Angela does the displays. But I've still got a lot of Asian tarantulas, you know. And I'm at the stage where I don't even bother labelling the tanks. I just look at them and go, yeah, that's this and that's that, you know. If we were to both disappear overnight, someone would come in and go, oh God, there's no labels on the tanks. But
Tarantula A, B, C, D.
I just write in felt pen who I want them left to, you know, Asian scorpions to mark. So I just write on the tank. But so 10 years time, I would love to be still organising the BTS show, wouldn't I? We really would.
Yeah.
So
we would love to.
So with that being said, then knowing what you know now, would you still become the organisers of the BTS show?
100%. Yeah. 100. As I posted today, I have one regret, and the one regret is that I can't go back and start again.
Oh,
because
okay.
I would love to go back now, 30 years, and start organising the BTS show again. I wouldn't change a thing, you know. I would just, because we enjoy it, we love it. You know, I know sometimes on the day I am a little bit like a wounded rhino. You know, I can be a little bit aggressive on the day, but that's just me. But that's my only regret, is that I wouldn't change a thing. I would go and I would do it all again.
Yeah.
All again.
Good.
One question.
Yeah.
Is the current location the original location where the first one was held?
No. I was saying that the first one was way back in 1984, and that was actually in a garage. And the second and third were at a place called Chessington World of Adventure, which is a big theme park. Then we moved it to Luton, which was in a hall.
School hall.
A school hall. And then we moved it to Wolverhampton.
And then we took over.
Then we took over organising it. And so we've probably had 6 or 7 different venues. This is by far the biggest we've had. We thought we'd found a good home when we did the Rico Arena. The Rico Arena in Coventry was brilliant. It was one big square room, but the problem is that when we went to rebook it for next year, they literally doubled the price.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, other organisers will tell you of events. These shows are not cheap to put on. They're expensive. And we went to the Rico, and the day after, and we said, we'll book for next year. And they said, yeah, they'd obviously seen a lot of people and thought this is a good idea. And they put the price, and we said no. We walked out the meeting and said no. And we went to the Warwick Events Centre, Warwickshire Events Centre. And that is, I think I've found my spiritual home. You know, that is it.
And do you live somewhere nearby? Or?
No. We live 310 miles away.
Oh, so it is completely random location, or what was the thing why you chose that?
It was the centre of the country where everyone can get
pretty central.
Central to the UK, and myself and Angela used to live in the Midlands. We were born in the Midlands, and we moved to the south coast 26 years ago. Yeah. So, but we decided, I mean, I could have moved it down here, you know, but we looked at it and thought, well, look, it's in the centre of the country. It's not difficult to get to. You can come from the north. Tim comes from way up. You know, we can come from the south. And so we and over the years, it's turned into a social event. We meet a lot of people who we see once a year. You know, and we only see them once a year. Like Custom Aquaria, for instance, I've now matched for nearly 40 years from Custom Aquaria, and we probably meet once a year at a show.
You
know, and it's the same with other guys who have been in the hobby so long. You know, Curtis Lakin has been in a long time. But what is nice this year is 108 traders, and 35 of them are new. 35 new traders who have never played with us before. You know, and that's pretty good.
Another thing you've got to remember, looking at that video as well, is that was taken in 2018. That was before Brexit. So I reckon.
That was my next question. Actually,
I reckon. Maybe 40% of the traders that you see there are obviously not allowed to come to the country now.
Yeah, so
it is literally just people who live in the UK.
I mean, the problem we had was that we had Hungarians, we had Maria and Laszlo and all these guys. Then we the Spider Shop at EU from Poland. We had a lot of these guys come over, and then Brexit. And Jean-Michel used to come over and trade.
So they have no way to come now.
No, there is. There is a way, of course, but the problem is when they come through customs, they can keep you there for 4 hours. I mean, I think the death of it was really Peter Grabowitz, and you know Peter Grabowitz. He used to come over every year, and one year he got stopped at customs, perfectly legal, bringing spiders in to sell, no problem, all the paperwork, and he was there for 4.5-5 hours. And it really did put a lot of the European dealers off. And even now, all the other shows as well, the Sea Show and the Invert shows, they don't get foreign guys. They don't get Europeans because it's just since Brexit, it's just too difficult which
Yeah.
is a great shame. You know, it's a real pity. But what is amazing is that I was a little concerned the year after Brexit. I thought, 40% of our traders are European.
Yeah.
What the hell am I going to do now? And literally overnight, I was flooded with English traders.
We have a new trader in the chat. Just one more. It's a new trader for
You
this
are
year.
one of the newbies. You are indeed one of the newbies. Yeah.
He's coming down all the way from Glasgow to trade at the BTS.
Excellent.
Wow.
And that is a long drive.
Our first customer in the queue
Scottish.
comes from Scotland.
I don't know if you remember him, Tim. For years and years, even when we were at Wood Green, there's two guys come down from Glasgow.
Yeah.
Brian and his mate. And they always come down from Glasgow and they're always first in the queue. And they're there at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And we don't open until 11.
Yeah.
And these two guys, they're there at the pub in the night and we have a drink with them. Such nice lads. Come down on the train. And it got to the stage, because they're always first in the queue, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give them high-vis jackets and let them do the door. And they loved it. And I thought, well, they're there on the door. And I'll let them in. They're queuing from 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I just say to them at 10:30, guys, you've done it coming in. You've worked for me for 4 hours.
Well, that's dedication for you. That is dedication for you.
That's some serious effort.
And what's amazing,
Really
they come to the show, they know exactly what they want, who they're going to buy it from. They walk around the show, and by 1 o'clock they've gone.
Really?
Because they are purists. They know exactly what they want.
Yeah. Okay. That was actually one thing I was going to ask. Like, have we got tips for people that come to buy at the show? Like, what would be your biggest tip?
Save your money now.
Yes, start saving. You started saving last year, you mean?
Yes, I would say it's a big show, and it's like some of the German and the European shows. They're big shows, so don't be too keen to get in there and buy the first spider you see. Walk around the show. There's a lot of spider dealers there. There's a lot of phasmid dealers. There's a lot of mantid dealers. And have a walk around all the show, and then find out what you want, and then haggle. Don't be afraid to haggle. They may turn around and say, no, that's how much it is. I mean, I know Rad is offering 20% discount for BTS members, which is a great deal, and I'll thank him when I see him. But the reality is if I had one tip is don't be too keen to part with your money. Have a look first, see what's there. Because there's nothing more annoying than buying something, then walking over to that table and finding it 10 quid cheaper.
Yeah, but what if you walk over to that table, they haven't got any, you go back and the one you was looking at is gone?
Then that's
yeah.
That is what I would call is fate. That is the way it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Don't forget to keep a little bit of money so you can join before you
keep a little bit of money so you can join the BTS.
Yes, before
the membership is always a really good time to renew your membership. I used to do it every single year at the BTS show because it runs from the end of May onwards for the next year. So you're covered. Every single year, I used to do the same thing. Renew at the show.
Exactly. Yeah. The other good thing now is move forward a lot, because now 90% of the traders, they use square reels. They use cash machines, so they'll take cards. Back in the old days, it was like all cash. But now, of course, most of the BTS use square reels, and most of the dealers will do discounts. And if you talk to them and chat to them, but my advice would really is look first. Have a walk around. Don't be too keen, to spend your money that quickly. But yeah, I mean, decide what you want. And the other thing, of course, is I would look at our printed list of who's at the show. That's on Facebook. So, just for instance, you can go to their site and you can look at their websites and see what they've got. And a lot of pre-orders are taken at the BTS show, where people have called ahead and ordered spiders, you know, and they just collect them at the show.
Yeah,
So-
that you just did that, didn't you, Petco? Like you allow people to order
Yes,
before
yes,
you was
yes.
at the show. Yeah.
Yeah, but mostly because I don't bring tarantulas regularly. I just bring the ones that are reserved. And for enclosures, when I have reservations, it's easier for me to gauge which size of enclosures to bring more, because sometimes I have some bigger enclosures that I wouldn't bring more than like larger boreas. I wouldn't bring more than 2, but sometimes I have already 3 reservations, so I know that I need to bring of that stuff more.
I mean, that is the key. That's the key, is knowing exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, sometimes, you know, I go to shows and I look at spiders and I've never heard of them. You know, there's so many species of tarantula now, and there's so many different species of scorpion. I mean,
Yeah.
the ones that came to me, the Lephistiomorph spiders, I'd never seen them ever. I knew what they were, but I'd never seen them. And you walk around and there's such interesting stuff there. And I think you don't have to just be a spider keeper. If you're just an invert keeper, you know, centipedes, millipedes, beetles, you saw on Petco's video, the range of stuff that's there, it's amazing. It really is. Stick insects, butterflies, you name it. You know, so.
Snails. But then you've also got those people that are selling non-live animals. So like you've got Sally Pullin. She does all of the crochet stuff. And yeah, and that stuff's amazing, especially for the kids. The kids love those kind of things, don't they?
Well, we've always tried to, you know, I did a radio interview yesterday, which, you know, you heard.
I did.
And I did a radio interview, and one of the things we always pride ourselves with, we attract academics, we attract experienced keepers, beginners, families. My favourite, one of my standout moments was, I think a couple of years back, an old lady of 92 had actually heard us on the radio, and she told her daughter on the Sunday that she wanted to come to the show.
She was in a wheelchair.
She was in a wheelchair, and she made her daughter bring her to the show. And she came in and she I'm 92, I'm 92. And I said, well, thank you for coming. She says, well, I don't like spiders, but it's one of these things I have to see before I die.
Oh, that's amazing.
She was brilliant. And you know, we made a fuss of her. We even wheeled her around the show.
Had a brilliant day.
She had a brilliant day. We gave her a cup of tea.
That's so good.
And it was just nice. And I think that's what we yes, it's a show. Yes, it's or an exhibition, as we call it. But it's a family day out. It's a good day out. You know.
It sure is.
One thing, I think there's a restaurant in there.
There is a restaurant.
There's probably an ice cream man.
Hopefully.
As well.
There's
a field where you can.
There's a field at the back where people have picnics, but there is a restaurant on site, a licensed restaurant on site. A licensed restaurant on site.
Bring a blanket.
Also 2 really nice ladies that wander around with a trolley selling with sandwiches and tea. Yes. Those 2 ladies were a God save last year.
and it's nice as well, because they phoned me up the other day and asked me, do you still want us to do the trolley? Yes.
100%.
Because, you know, the traders arrive at 8 o'clock and they have to set up, and that takes time. And then obviously then they will have something to eat. So if we can get them fed and watered before the show opens, that's nice. So, but yeah, it's a little bit bigger since you came, Petco. If you did a video now, it's a lot bigger.
It's a big difference, isn't there? What? Let me just get that back up. What was it?
Yeah, 100% bigger.
Which is because what happened is when we first did it there, we did a floor plan, and then the year after we redesigned it, and then I spoke to the WEC and I said, well, you can get more in by moving around. So we sat down and redid the floor plan. This year, I think it's 108.
Yeah, you know the 2017 video. Is that by the same guy?
No, I think so. But no, it's a lot bigger now. But I know that this year Mark's going to do a drone flyover.
Yes, I was just going to say that. We have to make sure that everybody that's in the queue as you saw with Petco on his video, he did his drone flyover, but
Well,
make sure you give the drone a wave.
I know Mark's watching, but he's going to have to go some to beat Petco's.
He will.
Feel free. I love when
Challenge
someone.
accepted.
Yes.
Challenge
I
accepted.
have nothing against that. Yeah,
He's going to have to go some to beat that, because when I first saw that, I mean, I'm a big metalhead anyway, but the music just did it for me.
And it is it's Croatian band.
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Don't ask me now on the spot. I cannot remember. I can't remember. But
I'll ask Jean-Michel. He'll know. Jean-Michel Vides would know. he's
he
a
knows.
massive metalhead. Jean-Michel would know.
Yeah, but they are small band. They are not really.
He'll still know.
No.
Yeah, okay.
He's a big,
Probably got the name tattooed on him.
He's a big death metal fan. He'll know.
One question in regards to setting up the tables. Do you offer for sellers to come in day earlier to pre-set up the tables?
Unfortunately, no. The problem is that because the hall's quite big, and obviously at night the temperature drops. In England, anywhere, but the temperature drops, and if we wanted to keep spiders or stuff there overnight, one, it would increase our insurance premium a lot, and that's already a lot. And secondly, there is a lovely guy there called Ken, an old fella who he works on the car park. You've seen him, a lovely guy, and he would have to sleep there overnight.
You can't ask Ken to do that.
And he has done in the past.
I was going to say he probably would do it, but
and he's getting on now.
The biggest problem is the temperature drop overnight, and I don't want somebody bringing in 1,000 spiders and then overnight the temperature drops and boom.
Okay. I didn't consider that, to be honest. I'm looking from my perspective when I only bring enclosures. So setting up. So it is awesome thing when I went to Ham or when I went to Živa Exotica in Prague. You came. I come a day earlier always for the show because I need to travel. So I need to arrive a day earlier, and then I come there, set up the table, and in the morning I just arrive.
Yeah,
I'm here. I don't need to rush. I don't need to.
It's a good idea, but unfortunately, the English have different ideas. I'm afraid. And the biggest problem, the other problem, of course, is if we hire the event for one day. So we have from 7 a.m. in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, and that's what we pay for. If we suddenly wanted to extend it to the day before as well and overnight, then it would increase the insurance premium and B, double the price. And it's it's an expensive. There we go. Being told it was the outlaw by Inciter. There we go.
Inciter, yes. It is written in the description, so yeah.
Yeah, so Mark cheated. Thought you might have known who that was. But he's not a metal fan like us. No, but that's why we unfortunately can't set up the night before.
It makes sense.
I would love to, but it's. But we open at 8 o'clock, and most traders have been at a hotel the night before because.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, as well, mentioning no names, some of the traders who were in the pub the night before with us do not look good first thing in the morning. When they arrive on site, some of them look a lot worse for wear.
Well, this is because some of them we only get to see each other once a year, so
they drink far too much and spend far too much time in the pub, and then decide they have to get up for 6 o'clock in the morning. We have a strict regime. We're in bed by 9 o'clock, aren't we, Tim?
Yeah. Every year.
Every year we're in bed by 9.
We have to be because we
I won't make it.
Strict instructions to get up and get to the venue by certain time.
That's it. Cup of tea, 9 o'clock news, straight to sleep.
I've heard apparently the guy who runs it can be a bit of an arse.
Never.
Only what I've heard.
A little bit.
I'll tell you something. Many years ago, and I won't mention his name, but many years ago, we had a guy on the committee. Mark would remember him, and we were setting up the show. It wasn't at this venue; it was at a school, and he wasn't actually pulling his weight. He wasn't actually helping us a lot. And I was getting wound up more and more by the other committee members who were saying, well, look, he's doing nothing. He's doing nothing. And I just walked up to him and I let him have both barrels. And I really had a go at this guy. And he just went, there's no need for that. And he left. And he left the committee. And it was a bit unfair because after all, we are all volunteers.
We are. Yeah, that's it. But
we do it for fun.
Yeah, this is it. I don't do it for any other gain than my own personal satisfaction of actually volunteering. Yeah.
You know, and you said earlier, you know, would if I could go back and, you know, would I still do it? And yeah, I'd still keep spiders because most of our friends we've met through the hobby.
Yeah.
You know, people who we've known now for 40 years, we would not have met them unless we had been in the hobby.
Well, it's just like all of us here on the screen. We know each other because of tarantulas and scorpions.
You know?
And I wouldn't have worked at a zoo.
You wouldn't have worked at a zoo. And what's really nice as well, when we do actually meet up, we don't often talk about tarantulas.
No.
It never occurs to us to talk about spiders. We talk about music or whatever the world's happening in the world. But that's just nice because, as I say, our oldest friend, Tim and Michelle, who we've known for over 40 years, we met through the hobby. We literally met them at a society that's long gone now called the Milton Keynes Herpetological Society, and we met them there, and we were kids, and we realised they lived very close to us, and we've been friends for 40 years.
Is that who you brought for the Brighton show?
No, that was Carl and Lisa from down. Again, we met those couple at Milton Keynes many years ago, and we've known them for nearly 40 years. You know, so
they come and help.
And they're coming to help at the show, you know, and that's really nice.
They used to keep spiders a long time ago.
They keep spiders now because I gave them some.
Then didn't keep them, and then decided they were going to keep some again. So I gave them a couple of.
And because we've always kept in touch, he said to me, "Do you guys need any help at the BTS show?" And we said, "Always need help at the BTS show." And so they're coming up and helping us on the door and helping us on the day, you know, and. You know, it's just nice that people we see maybe twice a year.
And Mark reminded us that the BTS is run for the hobby, not for profit.
And I think that's why we're still going after 40 years.
Why it's still live by?
You know, as if Petco knows, this is our 40th year. It's our 40th birthday for the club, and I think it's because we're all dedicated to the hobby. You know. None of us make money from it. I mean, if you sell spiders or whatever, that's fine. But the club itself is run for the hobby, not for profit.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, hand on heart, 30 years organising a show, I've never made a penny from it. Because it'd be like cheating yourself.
Oh, you know? God, yeah.
Everything we do for the club and we do for the hobby, so we can continue for another 40 years. And when we've long gone, and someone else takes over, fine, it's great. It's continuing. As long as somebody puts my name in the book saying honorary member, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Somebody remembers me.
I thought you were going to say because you weren't here anymore.
And they say, oh, Ray Hale, I remember him. Auntie used to organise a show. That was him. So
we'll have you stuffed and mounted in the doorway with your hand out greeting people.
Actually. Perhaps you could have a statue of me put at the WEC.
Yeah, right out front in the middle of the car park.
Listen, good enough for Lemmy, good enough for me.
Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah.
I think that would work really well.
me doing that.
Yeah, could have you on that special little stage you stand on giving out the trophies.
yeah, my little trophy. I know. It's all good. So yeah, it's we're looking forward to it. I'm going to be earning all team money this year. So you're going to be
spending, love.
That's his wife.
That's his missus, by the way.
Yeah.
No, it would be. It's for us. it's a great event, but it's a social event.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and I think if you're serious, and Petco will know this, if you're serious in the hobby, you meet good people, you stay in the hobby. And if you stay, we've always said, if you're in the hobby after a year, you're in it for life.
Yeah.
You know.
From my experience, I'm really sad because in Croatia there is no like tarantula community or anything, and all my friends that were keeping tarantulas when I started, they all stopped keeping tarantulas because all of them got a lot of tarantulas quickly, and then they got overwhelmed and they just sold everything and said, I don't want to deal with this anymore. So if I didn't do this YouTube channel, I probably also would have small shelf just for me, and I wouldn't really be involved in the community because there is no community nearby. So that kind of saddens me.
We're your community, even though we're far away.
That's what I say. If I didn't have this channel and connections that reaches further than my country, then
where we live, there's nobody around.
To be honest, where we live on the south coast, there's no tarantula, there's no community. I mean, you know, in the old days before Facebook, everything was by telephone, everything was by writing and post, and it was hard work. You know, there was sending out. I can remember this is true, and Angela will tell you, one Christmas day, myself and Angela sitting here stuffing the journals in envelopes and then writing the addresses on. You know, then licking the stamp and putting that on. You know? And you know, we had a lot of members in those days, and that was Christmas Day. You know, that's, you know, we were just wanting to get them out, but
wow.
But it is nice now that, you know, we've got a good Facebook community. The Facebook page is well supported.
Yep.
It's a good. We try and be fair and police it properly. You know, there's a lot of Facebook pages out there which you know, we're members of a lot of them, but there's an awful lot of Facebook pages out there. But you know, we try and be fair and police it properly, and I think
that's why people think they're part of members of the BTS, but they're only members
Facebook
of
members,
Facebook.
you know.
Yeah, not actual members of the society.
If they're members of the actual society, that helps us produce a journal and produce a show and keep going.
And I have to say, you know, I mean, we just received. I mean, the journal is I've got them here. I mean, the journal. I think that's the last one. That's 39 number. When you think 39 number 3, that's 39 years of journal. You know,
that's a lot.
It's an awful lot of spider information, you know.
Yeah. And they're great. The journals are.
And as a member, you've got access to all this online anyway.
Yeah.
So, and we've got some really good writers these days writing for us. I hope our cat's arrived. But just that's better. So
bright light.
Yeah, and you got electric in your shed, Tim.
My journals are all up on the shelf. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, I think
be able to.
There can't be many of us with a full set.
All up
there.
I think.
Yeah, you can't really see.
I think Andy Smith has got a full set. I think Pete's probably got a full set, and I've got a full set of journals, and that's going back from number 1.
Mark probably.
Mark, I think Mark.
Me and Amy are doing our best.
We can pay them off of eBay.
Outbidding each other on eBay.
Well, you know what, Tim? As I said to you, when I go, mate, I'm going to leave you my Scorpion book.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got some mega old ones.
Oh yeah, they're the old ones.
They're still A5 though. There's some A4 ones.
The early ones were A4 written on a typewriter.
Yeah.
No.
The very early ones. Volume 1, number 1.
And it gets
1998 that's from.
They were that big.
The really early ones.
The really early ones. And you know what? I have to say, there's some really good articles in those old ones. Written by some really good experienced keepers at the time. I mean, most of the care guides and everything is still relevant today. It's only the nomenclature that's changed, the species and things like that. The care's still the same. I mean, I was saying the other day to Amy, the best book ever written on sexing tarantulas was by John Hancock. John and Kath Hancock, you know, who live in Canada. He's getting on now, he's old. So I'm sorting a copy out for Amy. I'm sorting a copy out because it's still the best. John Hancock, for those who don't know, was the man who discovered how to sex a tarantula from a shed skin. Mm-hmm. He was the man. Before him, there was nothing. He was the man. And we used to run courses on how to sex tarantulas properly. And a lot of people took the courses up. And he wrote a book about how to do it. And I think sometimes I look on Facebook and I think it wouldn't hurt people to, I know it's a difficult book to find, but I have spoken to John Hancock recently, and he said to me, he said, look, if you want to photocopy it and sell it for the club, feel free, you know, which would be nice.
I think if you get them online.
I can't get the journals in Portugal. Sometimes I saw the website, but I wonder if I can be shipped to my country. Yes, they can.
But we haven't got them.
Not the new journals. The new journals. If you join now, you will get the new journals. We ship to Croatia. We ship to Portugal. We ship to America. Everywhere. You know, we ship journals everywhere. Unfortunately, our British postal system is rubbish. You know, and the cost is ridiculous.
Every postal service that is country. It's not private, it's rubbish.
It is. To ship a journal to the States now is something like, just to postage is like £7. Mm-hmm. Just to send a journal to the States.
I know.
Crazy. But yes, if you're a European, you can join in Europe. You go to the website, you join in Europe, and we'll send you the journals. But you can, of course, join as a digital member. So you can get the journal immediately online. You just don't get the hard copy, you just get the digital copy. And a lot of our European and American members do that. Yeah. Because it's much, much cheaper.
Yeah.
You're not paying postage to America, which is crazy. It's crazy at the moment. You know, with the tariffs.
Bye, Arachno Space. We'll see you on the 18th.
You will indeed. We're all ready for you.
Ooh. My camera's having a moment. It went out of focus.
I will also need to say goodbye to you.
Thank you,
this was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming, Petco.
Next time, let me know a bit earlier.
I will. But thank you. I appreciate it.
I already had everything arranged, everything scheduled, and I had to say that I will be like half an hour late. Now it's 45 minutes late.
Oh, quick, go
Get there. So hopefully, not this year, but I hope that maybe next year I will be able to come and see you all guys in person. When I was last time when I was there in 2019, and then I went to the hotel and to the pub, so I had the whole experience.
Yeah,
and it was really nice. So goodbye and
bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye. Oh, that was nice of him to come in.
That was good. You know what? That is a great video. Is the other video online by him as well? I can't remember.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I think there is
2017, but there's another video, but I'm not sure.
The other one's quite good as well.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we want people to film. You know, we've got a film crew there this year anyway. But we actually want people to come and film. I know Scott does a lot of filming. And things, and I know you want to film stuff and that, and Mark's gonna have his drone. So, but
Scott's inverts there filming to do a BTS show video. Mr. Grindler's Creatures / Jaden. I know he's doing one because he wants to interview me and you guys as well. So, right. But yeah, I think the main aim for anybody that's filming, especially if you're going to put it out on social media, is please make sure you include the BTS table, the merchandise, and everything. You know, because that's just as important as all of the spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we the guys work hard, and it's just nice to get a bit of recognition, really. We are looking forward to it. You know, Angela will tell you 2 weeks before the show, I am a nightmare. And she's going, yeah. I am an absolute nightmare. I am so over the top. to the nth degree. I sat here most of the day doing floor plans and still changing things.
And then
You
to
know,
top it all, we got my uncle and
Yeah,
stuff
and
going on with him.
this
and-
weekend we have to go and see Angela's elderly uncle in the Midlands. So we're up the Midlands this weekend, and then we drive all the way home and go back all next weekend. You know,
Oh,
so-
bless you.
but the trouble is, if we go, we can't go and see family on the show day.
No, it's a bit.
Yeah.
That weekend for us is seeing all of our friends and new friends. So we fit in family the week before, you know, or try and do it like that. So yeah, hopefully we'll do that. Hopefully, but definitely.
Has everybody gone now?
There's still 16 people watching us, but I think that this is a perfect time to wrap it up. So just a quick recap then. If you want to buy your tickets online, be entered into the draw to win that £100 golden ticket voucher to spend, there it is, to spend with any trader at the show. Then you just need to buy your tickets online, but that will be closing, did you say middle of next week?
Well,
Said Tuesday.
I've got to send the ticket out.
Yeah.
And knowing
It's
the
got to
process,
get there.
it's got to get there. So I've sort of worked it out by end of Tuesday or maybe Wednesday. I will do it Tuesday, and I will contact the winner by email.
Okay.
I will probably as well send them a copy of it by email, and they'll have it on their phone just in case it doesn't get there.
So you have until then to buy the ticket online, but if you miss it, don't worry, you can pay cash or card on the door.
£100.
Hold it up again so I can get a screenshot.
Yeah. You'll also notice, Tim, there's a barcode on it.
Ah, damn. Thwarted.
Up here for thinking, mate. There's a barcode on it, so yes. And I've got a phone which scans it.
So it can't be copied.
Can't be copied. And
No,
to be fair,
one winner and that's it.
you'd be a brave man coming up to the BTS stand twice and asking for the money.
Yeah, you would.
But no, so yeah, please buy your tickets online if you can, or of course come on the day, pay on the door, cash or card. You know, come and say hello and
Yes.
enjoy the day. That's what it's all about.
And just enjoy the day. It's going to be
And 100% go to the merch stand first because it sells out.
A new T-shirt and a new hoodie.
Yeah,
because it'll be gone before you know it. Don't wait. Yeah, don't wait.
I didn't get one
Especially
last
these
year
new
because of
t-shirts.
that very reason.
You know what I always find
Waiting.
amazing? We go to a lot of shows, or we used to go quite to a lot of shows to visit, and how many people we see wearing BTS T-shirts.
Yeah.
You just walk in the
Oh,
show,
yeah.
and there's loads of people wearing this one. Was probably the most popular shirt we've ever done. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen that one? You know, we call that the Da Vinci shirt. Looks
I
like
like
Leonardo.
that one. Bring it back. Bring it back.
No, we should bring back some of the old ones. shouldn't we?
And that was really and people, they look at the shirts and they go, "Well, I've got to have that." And I walk around shows and I see a lot of people with BTS T-shirts.
Okay.
A lot of people, and that
Yeah.
makes
And-
an old man very happy.
Also, the t-shirts from Serious Inc. because those
Yeah.
t-shirts are
Oh yeah,
pucker.
yeah. I mean, you know, Mark's T-shirts are superb. There's no
They
doubt about it.
really are. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
They are,
So
they are
there's
the business.
a lot of merch to choose from. I actually had somebody say to me the other day, "Do you own any other t-shirts, or is it just all Spider t-shirts?" And I said, "No, every t-shirt I've got's got a spider on it."
To be fair,
So
I own a lot of Spider T-shirts, but I do own, I think it's at least half a dozen or maybe 10 Lemmy shirts.
oh, really?
Motorhead T-shirts.
Nice.
2 T-shirts, Spiders and Motorhead. That's me done.
So it's a perfect combination. Perfect combination.
Inverts and rock bands. That's it.
Now, at my funeral, Spider people and heavy metal. I will go a happy man.
Yes.
You live by the metal, you die by it, and that's the way I've always done it. Angela
Yeah.
did have the suggestion we should play music at the back of the show,
But it's noisy enough.
but it's noisy enough.
Yeah.
How
It
would
does.
how would you play metal quietly?
Not quietly.
Not quietly.
Not quietly.
Not quietly.
It's a quick question there.
No, not anymore.
Hang on, is Andrew Smith part of the BTS? Andrew Smith was the chairman of the BTS, for many years. He was one of the co-founders of the BTS. He's still a very good friend of the BTS. In fact, he lives just up the road from me. And he will be at the show.
Yes.
And Andy is a lovely man, as we all know. Wonderful man. And some of the videos and DVDs he makes on Spiders, he's the only guy doing them. And they're stunning. You know,
they really are stunning. And they have got a table, haven't they? At the
yeah,
show
tarantulas.com. I've got a table.
But he's not a committee member anymore.
But he retired as chairman, and Peter Kirk took over, and I took over as vice chairman. So, but Andy's still a very, very close associate of the BTS.
He is. He's awesome. Yeah.
He is, and he's a damn fine cook as well. He can really. He's a damn fine chef. So yes, as we can testify.
And I know he likes a good cup of coffee.
He does make a good cup of coffee.
Yeah. That's why, because I don't drink his coffee.
No, yes. Andy Smith is still with us, and Andy Smith's a bit like me. They'll have to drag him kicking and screaming, you know. There's no way.
I think that would be the same with us as well, isn't it, Tim? Like, you know, I'm not going anywhere.
Eventually.
These have to stay in my life.
The truth is, over the years, there have been moments, you know, we've considered stopping, you know, various things happen in your life, personal things happen in your life, and you think, have I got time for this? And then we sit back in the cold light of day, we go, you know what? All of our friends are through the club, through the hobby. You know, we've introduced people to the hobby who are now friends.
Yeah.
You know, we've introduced people who've left the hobby who have remained friends. And so, so from our point of view, there have been times we have thought about stopping. But, and at one stage, I did actually give up the BTS show. I gave it up. And we did take another guy on to organise it. A guy from Invicta, actually. I was
going to say, Angie's rolling her eyes.
No,
he didn't do it.
He didn't last long.
He didn't even get there.
To be fair, it wasn't his fault. It was mine. And the reason, because you know what? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I could have given it to him to organise, and he would have done a great job, but I just couldn't give it up.
Because it's your baby.
It's in my blood. I couldn't give it up. I can't give it up.
I can imagine you being like, you're not doing that right. You're not doing that right.
You know
never even got to that stage.
I'd organise a show if 2 people turned up. It wouldn't bother me. No, it's just it's in our blood, I'm afraid. You know, and we're not going anywhere, are we?
Not at the moment.
No.
Not at the moment.
Good.
But we are going to the Warwickshire Event Centre on the 18th of May.
Yes, 18th of May, Warwickshire Event Centre in Leamington Spa. Make sure you are there if you can get there, of course.
I must just mention as well the pub on the night before.
Oh, yes.
Right. I've been in touch with Luke from Spa Spiders, and Luke's organising
because he lives there.
Because he lives in Leamington Spa. And they're organising a pre-show knees up or a pre-show meet up at a pub called the Heathcote.
Yes.
And it's just
Which isn't that far. Yeah, it's not that far away, is it?
It's just up the road from the Warwick Event Centre. So all the BTS guys are going to go there in the evening or slot.
Yeah,
we'll all be there. So if you're in the area and you want to come and meet some guys, come over.
Yes,
and
come and say hi. And if you spot us at the show, make sure you come and say hi. We kind of have, you know, tunnel vision with everything we're doing, so we don't spot people easily. But if you spot us, then please do come and say hello to us. Yeah,
please do. Yeah, and if I ignore you, it's probably because I'm going. I'm normally quite good on the show, guys. Normally.
You'll be fine. We'll be fine. It'll all be fine. It always is.
It's rare.
You know what? One of these, I would love to just pull up a big chair, a big throne, and just sit on it and let everybody do everything else, and me to just enjoy the day and have people bring me cups of tea. Now I know that's never going to happen.
You don't know that. It might happen one day. You might say, you know what? I'm having a break.
Yeah, when I can't walk anymore, they'll get me a wheelchair. Never
Oh,
mind. All good.
okie dokie. So thank you anyway, guys, for coming on
Pleasure.
and doing this with me tonight. It's been amazing and I really appreciate it. I am super, super buzzing for the show. I cannot wait for it all to kick off. And yeah, so we'll see you all in 2 weeks. So bye-bye to the chat.
Bye-bye. See you soon. See you guys. See you around,
See
mate.
you Sunday. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.